HarlequinAudio is proud to bring you Wild and Sweet by Rhenna Morgan, performed by Gary Furlong. Chapter 1. Friday nights were such an irony. With no social life, Gabrielle Parker could stay up as late as she wanted and sleep to obscene hours the next day, but there was never anything worth burning the midnight oil to watch. On the bright side, she'd logged a few more hours of overtime at the garage. Fixing clunker engines that should have been scrapped years ago might not compare to a hot date, but one more paycheck and that computer she'd been saving for was a done deal. She dodged a nasty pothole on the dark country road and steered her custom 71 Chevy C10 truck into her tiny subdivision. God, she loved where she lived. Big yards, a beautiful lake, not more than 300 feet beyond her backyard, no fences, and down-to-earth people. Dallas and its suburbs might be caught up in everything new and flashy, but Elk Run clung to its 60s and 70s charm. In fact, it was the only neighborhood in Rockwell or around Lake Ray Hubbard that hadn't sold out. There sure wasn't any waterfront property left. In the past 10 years, all the land around the lake had either been gobbled up by big conglomerates for their huge money-making enterprises, or fancy schmancy neighborhoods lined with jaw-dropping McMansions. Rounding the wide curve at the end of the one-street addition, her headlights swept her single-story ranch-style home. The simple rectangle layout with its shallow gray asphalt roof and buttery yellow siding probably wouldn't appeal to other people her age, but she wouldn't trade it for anything. She could do without the empty driveway, though. Her brother's missing car was no surprise. After all, Danny had a thriving social life, but in the 2 years since their dad had died and left them the house they grew up in, she still hadn't gotten used to coming home without Pop's car being in the third empty space. She slammed the shifter into park, killed the engine, and snatched her purse off the bench seat. Maybe Danny being out in the town was a good thing. No older brother meant no one giving her grief over her movie selection. She could pretty woman it up all night, and no one would be the wiser. Or maybe tonight she'd splurge and give Troy a go. Hard to say no to Brad Pitt in his heyday. 2 steps past the gleaming indigo hood of her truck, she stopped dead in her tracks. Mrs. Wallaby's porch light wasn't on. She could have sworn she'd left it on this morning when she'd fed her vacationing neighbor's cat, but then she'd also been running 30 minutes late for work and hadn't had her first cup of coffee. With that combination, she was lucky she'd made it to the garage with jeans on. Keys jingling in the otherwise quiet spring night, Gabe cut across the 3/4-acre lot to her neighbor's house. Now was as good a time as any to pick up the mail and make sure Astrid had enough to eat. The sky was deep sapphire velvet, with not one cloud to mar it. People in the city didn't have a clue what they were missing on a night like this. Fancy skylines and close conveniences might be nice every now and then, but no way would she trade it for the starry goodness overhead. She thumbed through Mrs. Wallaby's mail on her way to the front stoop, sorting out the weekend sale circulars and bills. Unlocking and opening the front door, she flipped the hallway light on, let the storm door swing shut behind her, and ambled through the short entry. "Astrid?" She'd made it halfway through the living room before the darkness registered. In the corner, the lamp she'd definitely remembered flipping on before she'd left this morning sat dark on the end table next to the couch. And where the heck was Astrid? The only time she no-showed at mealtime was when strangers came to visit. The fine hairs on the back of her neck and arms lifted, and a shudder trickled down her spine. The house was pure quiet. No breeze, no settling creaks or humming from the air conditioner. Just dark. Eerie, too quiet dark. She dropped the mail on the coffee table and slid her phone out of her jeans pocket. No reason to freak out. Mrs. Wallaby probably just sent one of her grandkids out to check on the house, and they'd accidentally trapped Astrid in a bedroom. It sure wouldn't be the first time the skitsy cat had found herself in such a bind. Punching the main button on her phone for a quick check-in with her neighbor, the home screen flashed a blinding white. Before she could blink her eyes back into focus, quick-moving heavy footsteps pounded from the hallway behind her, and a bulky, shadowed form lumbered toward where she stood. For one freeze-frame moment, his remarkable gaze locked onto hers, spotlighted by the phone's soft glow. Before she could dodge out of the way, he shoved her hard to one side. Her boot snagged on the coffee table, and the right side of her torso slammed crosswise against the marble top. "Son of a freaking gun, that hurt!" The screen door slammed, and the rumbling echo of her crash course with Mrs. Wallaby's anvil sturdy furniture still resonated through the house. But no more footsteps. And thank God for that, because her side felt like it had gone head-to-head with an engine block. Rather like a stubbed toe.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?